to do with us? What's it got to do with the price of fish? Nothing. Hi, and welcome to my very awkward intro. My name is Susan/Bambi, and this is Bambi's Rambles. How are we, friends? Are we good? That's good. And if you're not okay, that's okay too. I am doing a couple of videos today, and I'm excited. I'll be honest with you. I'm excited because the stuff that has come out lately, I am literally like, what is happening with the world? And I cannot keep up. I cannot keep up with everything. The amount of times I sit down and I talk to Jose and I'm like, okay, I gotta film this, gotta film this, gotta film this. And then another 25 crazy things happen on the internet and I'm like, okay, now I have to reshuffle what I'm actually gonna talk about because everyone's always doing something. Okay, so in this video, I am going to be talking about Trisha paytas. We all know that in the past I have said some wonderful things about Trisha. I feel like they have grown since being with Moses, and I really felt like the podcast with Ethan was incredible. They made some mistakes and all that, but I you know, I thought it was great, and I thought that they were growing a lot and showing like a lot more of themselves. And when Trisha says that they are in therapy and all these different things, I'm like, okay, they're growing, they're changing, they're learning. It was amazing. But then we had the fallout of frenemies. Okay, we'll shelf that. We're not going to talk about that. I didn't talk about that. Well, I did a little bit in one video, I think, but that's not the meat and potatoes of this, right? What we're going to talk about is their episode called, their episode of Enemies, where they talk about KEEMSTAR, Faze and Anna Campbell. And I will start this off by saying what they said about Anna Campbell was 125% accurate. I have no debates with what they stated in that video. I have no issues, nothing to do with that. You know, I have no complaints. If people want more information on Anna Campbell and the Anna Campbell situation, I have not made a video on Anna Campbell because, again, I don't like to cover what other people are covering too much of, and who obviously do a better job than me. I would rather send you guys somewhere that did a better job than me doing a not so great job. So if you guys want, check out Xylee. Xylee did her normal episode by episode live streams. They're fun to hang out in and all that sort of stuff. So check out, I will have Xylee linked down below, and you guys can check out her work within the Anna Campbell thing. So I have no issue with what they said about with Anna Campbell. Kind of what I want to talk about here, and this might be a controversial one, and this is one of the videos where I always want a conversation between us. Like, I really want that. Even if it's against me, I want to hear it. I don't always reply to comments and things like that because I'm not all up in my comments all the time. I apologize. I do have 4 children, 4 children if you count my husband, but yeah, time difference, all that sort of stuff always happens, but I do, for the most part, read my comments. I want to have a discussion about this one. I really do, because I feel like it comes down to a lot of, are we talking about projection here? Are we talking about life experience here? Are we talking about that literally laws need to be changed? Now, okay. If no one has seen said podcast that Trisha made or Trisha brought out, she talks about KEEMSTAR. Now, KEEMSTAR is 39 years old. I don't think we need a rundown on who KEEMSTAR is. KEEMSTAR is the supervillain of the interwebs. I am a secret, not so secret fan of KEEMSTAR. I don't agree with everything that he says. The same with Nicholas Diorio. I don't agree with everything he says. I don't agree with a lot of what these crazy men on Twitter say. I don't agree with like 75% of it, but I have to admit, I do indulge in their content. I do indulge in the little videos that the little videos they put up. We got Tommy C, we got all these guys that just are absolute jackasses, but sometimes I agree with them, and if that makes me bad, I don't know, you know. Anyway, I do watch a lot of content like that. I do get in the mix of all that sort of stuff, and I feel like some of the stuff they have said has been racist, has been transphobic, has been homophobic, has been all these sorts of things that are just really bad. But that's my side tangent, just being completely honest with you guys. I'm not going to sit here and like say that I completely hate these people because that's the popular choice, I guess. I can like people without agreeing with everything they say. Anyway, and they do remind me of my brother. I know some people feel like I've become very opinionated as of late, and I've changed a little bit. I think that's just because I'm coming more out of my shell, not paying attention to some really nasty stuff that people say to me in my comments, and I'm kind of taking a leaf out of my brother's book. I have a twin brother, and he just does not give a shit about what people think of him, and I'm really starting to like delve into that a little more, because at home in my real life I don't really give a shit about what people think of me. I'm very chill, very laid back person. I like the banter, I like the roast, I like all that, and I'm just bringing more of that to my platform. And maybe it is a confidence thing where people are subscribing to me and they are enjoying my content, and if that means that I'm changing with my level of subscribers, I apologize. I'm just trying to be more of myself. Yeah, anyway. So Trisha has made, so KEEMSTAR is 39 years old. When my husband heard that, he was like, 39, he acts like this on the internet. And I'm like, well, look at him, he's a multi-millionaire because of it. Anyway, he was talking to FaZe on Mum's Basement podcast, and he was talking about his new relationship with a female who is 20. Okay, and Trisha had a big problem with this. They basically said KEEMSTAR's a creep. There's a power imbalance there, because KEEMSTAR claims he met this girl at a fan meetup. But she wasn't the fan, she was accompanying a friend. KEEMSTAR said he doesn't want to post photos of her on the internet and all that sort of stuff. He doesn't want, you know, wants to keep that very separate. And he made jokes here and there about him, you know, feeling creepy and all that sort of stuff and everything. But Trisha basically has come out and said that she thinks he's a creep. He is taking advantage of this girl, even though she's 20, her brain isn't fully developed. She thinks the legal age of consent shouldn't be until 25. Let me know your thoughts. I want to hear everyone's thoughts on this, because I am just like, what is happening? Now, okay, in Australia, the legal age of drinking is 18. The legal age to get your license is 18. A lot of things become legal here when you are 18 in Australia. But I know in the United States, you guys can drive at 16, drink at 21, which I think is really smart, by the way. But still, technically, this person over the age of 18 is legal, right? She has the ability to vote, she has the ability to get married, she has the ability to do X, Y, and Z, but can't drink alcohol. So I guess that's where it gets a little fuzzy. But the legal age of consent, I'm guessing, is 18. I could be wrong, but I'm like 99% sure it's 18. And that is a major issue for Trisha. She believes that he is taking advantage of her, as in the girlfriend, taking advantage of her, and ruining her life. They used very strong language in this podcast segment. Very, very strong language. And she started to talk about how, you know, what happened to her as a child, which I will not go into, not my story. You know, I say this with all due respect, not my monkey, not my circus. So all those things that happened to her as a child, you know, also being 13, being with a 40-year-old, and 17 being with a 60-year-old, and all those sorts of things, they went into a lot of details about that sort of stuff. Now, this is the part where I start talking about, is this projection? Okay, I feel like Trisha is very wounded, very broken, very all of these things from scenarios and situations that she was put into. 99% of these were not Trisha's fault. She was the victim. They were the victim. This was a victim. Like they are a victim here. They should not be blamed or anything for anything that happened to them. And I feel terrible that these things have happened to them. I get that. But is this some projection? You have been hurt, you have been treated some sort of way, things have happened to you, and that podcast episode maybe triggered you in some sort of way. Who's to say that this girl is not a very well-adjusted, you know, they always say women mature better than men, and Keemstar seems like a 20-year-old anyway. But I'm wondering if that's something that is happening when Trisha talks about this. Now, we talk about Ethan Klein, because I saw a snippet that Ethan Klein and Healer, I don't know what Healer said, if she said anything about it, but there was a snippet put on Augie RFC's channel, and it popped up, and I watched it. It's like 60 seconds. I'll probably link it down below for you guys, where Ethan is talking about Keemstar and talking about how this is inappropriate and that this 20-year-old is a child. But 2 years ago, he was saying on a podcast to somebody else that was on there who was dating a 20-year-old, same sort of age difference, basically said that, oh, high five, well done, yada, yada, yada. So why is this all changing now? Are we getting too, are we coddling people too much, where we get this idea that 20-year-olds can't do X, Y, and Z, and 21-year-olds shouldn't be getting married and having children and doing all this sort of stuff? And I'm just like, what? It's like when people say you shouldn't get married in your 20s. Wow, I got married when I was 21, and I had my first child when I was 22. 29 now, and I have 3 children. I've been married for, you know, 9 years. So I don't know how I feel about that. You know, I get it that we want to live our 20s and go off and do crazy stuff. Maybe because I did my crazy stuff through my teen years. I don't know. But are we coddling people too much? Should we talk about the power dynamic that maybe Keemstar shouldn't date fans? When he says she's not a fan, she's not a fan, she's not a fan. But I don't know if I necessarily believe in power dynamics in that way. I believe in power dynamics with James Charles grooming underage boys. I believe in power dynamics with Anna Campbell and what she's done to underage fans. I feel like it's very different. If we look at adults, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong here. I don't know. You guys have to let me know. Enlighten me. Tell me something. You know, I want to learn. Maybe I'm wrong here, because I just feel like, not that you necessarily want a fan, you know, but maybe you do want someone that likes your work. Like, do you think that Chrissy Teigen doesn't like John Legend's music? Or maybe she doesn't, because she's a bit of a bitch. But, you know, like, I don't know. I would want someone that likes me, like, and likes my whatever that I do for a living, or, you know, if I'm a singer-songwriter, whatever it is. Like, I just felt like it was really disappointing. Really, really disappointing, because not everything is bad. Not everything is going to cause people trauma. I understand that it's caused Trisha a lot of trauma, and I feel terrible for them. I do. But a lot of projecting is happening here, in my opinion. And I bring it to Onision, and I'm just like, weren't these Onision girls like under the age of 18? Wasn't Kai, I hope I'm getting the right name now, because I don't know what Kai goes under, but wasn't Kai like 16? I feel like there's a big difference between 16 and 20. And she's saying, oh, well, if they're your soulmate, wait until they're 31. Even if you're 80, wait till they're 31, 35, because they have life experience. Let me tell you something, that's also not true, because every single day of our lives we learn, don't we? My mom is, bless her heart, I won't say the exact age because she'll kill me, but she's up there in her late 50s, mate. And my mom is still learning every single day. So I just feel like people have this, like, Trisha has this idea of like perfect timing just because, but isn't she still making mistakes on the internet? Wasn't it like 3 months ago where she was out here calling her mother and mother-in-law and her sister-in-law all these names publicly, and then she comes back and says, I'm sorry. Well, okay, well, if we're talking about being fully developed and making right decisions, how are you making right decisions? We all make wrong decisions. If we all learned everything at 30, fuck, life would be boring. This might be a positive thing for this 20-year-old. This might be a negative thing for this 20-year-old. But at the end of the day, what's it got to do with us? What's it got to do with the price of fish? Nothing. But I want to hear everyone else's opinions because I'm gobsmacked. I'm gobsmacked. I did go through and read some of the comments on Trisha's video. Some were agreeing, some were disagreeing, but it was like a 50 to 50 ratio here. And I'm just wondering, are we getting too cautious in this world? Everything's predatory, everything's manipulation, everything's sinister. And I don't feel like things are sinister. I don't feel like every single thing on YouTube or in the world or on Twitter, on everything and anything is sinister. And I don't think everything is about being controlled and being manipulated. And, you know, everyone just has all these buzzwords and everything is like the worst thing ever. Maybe we're all watching too much true crime and learning big words out of the fucking thesaurus. I don't know, but anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Remember to like, subscribe, send a pigeon, keep the same energy, and stay tuned for my next few videos because the next video will be Creepshow Art and the voice memos. And also my really, really exciting collab with someone is actually coming very, very soon, and I feel like you guys would really, really enjoy it. So be sure to like and subscribe. I've already said that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And all the love in the world to my members. You know who you are. And I'm planning a members only live stream very, very soon. So I would love to see you all there. Anyway, bye guys.